What up, trail fam? Today we're going to be talking about our favorite trail runners of 2025. We're going to make this a quick one and break it down to weight comparison, materials and upper, toe box fit, rubber and outsole, lugs and traction, and some final thoughts. So let's jump right into it. Today we're going to talk about the Altra Experience Wild 2, the Altra Lone Peak 9, the Arc'teryx Norvan LD4, the Salomon Speedcross 6, and the Salomon X Ultra 5, and talk about why I like them, where they've been useful this year, and why I think these are the best 5 trail running shoes of 2025. So first, let's talk a little bit about the weight. So the Experience Wild 2 here is coming in at 275 grams, 9.7 ounces. The Altra Lone Peak 9 is coming in at 303 grams, 10.7 ounces. The Norvan LD4 is coming in at 260 grams, 9.2 ounces. The Salomon Speedcross 6 bulks up just a little bit at 298 grams, 10.5 ounces. And then the X Ultra 5 is definitely the tank of this. You'll see 360 grams or 12.7 ounces. So, we've got a little bit of variability here, really lightweight, a little bit more middle ground, and then a beefy tank. So nice weight comparison for those of you where those types of things matter. If you like this video, make sure to drop a subscribe. Click that button down below. It really helps us. We're looking to grow this channel and provide some awesome information for you. So your subscription really helps us out. All right, now we're gonna talk about the materials these shoes are made of and specifically focus a little bit on the uppers. So again, that Experience Wild 2 here has a slightly more structured top than the Lone Peak 9 we're all used to from Altra. Still pretty breathable and comfy. That Lone Peak 9 is definitely softer, more flexible, a nice engineered mesh that hugs your foot, kind of feels like pajamas. That Norvan LD4 here has that pure tech, that we talked about in that video. Single layer matrix with that Kevlar fiber, super breathable, super strong. Then we have the Speedcross 6 here with that anti-debris mesh and rib stop. So great for muddy trails, really secure, really snug. And then again, that beast of the X Ultra 5, overbuilt with leather and synthetic reinforcements. Great for rugged terrain, but not so much for agility. Next, we're gonna get into the toe box and fit. So all in all, the big thing here is if you have a little bit of a more narrow foot, or if you have a more regular foot shape, you want to kind of stay potentially in that Salomon and Arc'teryx line. Those 3 shoes are all actually owned by the same company, Amer Sports, so they have a pretty similar fit and design. I would say these Salomon shoes are slightly more narrower. That X Ultra 5 has a little bit more of a roomy toe box compared to the Speedcross. Again, it's a better shoe for more long distance hiking, but definitely if you have a wide foot, probably stay away from these 2. The Norvan from Arc'teryx here has a slightly wider toe box than some of the Salomon shoes. It's definitely more comfortable, but if you have wide feet that splay out, you might want to stay away from that as well and look exclusively at some of the Ultra shoes. The Lone Peak 9 and the Experience Wild 2, sport that signature foot-shaped toe box that Altra is known and loved for. Just really easy, really comfortable out of the box. Gives your foot that ability to splay out naturally like it's supposed to. So wide feet, stick with Altra. More normal foot, stick with the Arc'teryx shoes, and a little bit more of the narrow side, that European fit. Maybe look at those Salomon shoes for sure. All right, so now, are these shoes sticky? Are they gonna keep you on the trail? Are they good for mud? Are they good for rocks? What are you gonna be walking on when you're wearing these shoes? So that Experience Wild 2 here has that DuraTread from Altra. It's a more general purpose rubber. It's kind of an intro to trail running shoe to get you into that Altra shoe. It's fine for dry dirt, but less for muddy trails. Then we go to the Lone Peak 9 with that MaxTrac rubber. It's really solid on mixed terrain, but again, not the stickiest on wet rock. Next, we're gonna hop into the Arc'teryx Norvan LD4 here with that Vibram MegaGrip light base. It's grippy, durable, and fast draining, so really good in wet conditions, like you're up in the Pacific Northwest. We've got the Speedcross 6 here from Salomon with that Contragrip TA outsole. So it's really good for muddy, wet terrain. Think tough mudder, think Spartan race, something where you're gonna be digging into dirt and mud and need something really sticky and grippy so you can have that just nice feeling underfoot to keep you nice and supportive and comfortable. And then the X Ultra 5, again, packs a punch with that sturdy Contragrip MA sole. It's stable and dependable. It's more of a hiking shoe than a running shoe, like we keep going over time and time again. You know, so these four here, more running focus, more lightweight, but still gonna treat you really well as a backpacking shoe for long distance. And then nice and supportive here for that X Ultra 5, more of that walking, hiking shoe, not as much of a trail runner. We'll talk a little bit about the lugs as we are going into that stickiness of the shoe. The Experience Wild 2 has flatter, less aggressive lugs, more aimed at that rolling terrain. You know, it kind of acts like that natural shoe and allows your heel to your midsole to your toe to just comfortably walk across a mix of terrain. Then we've got that Lone Peak 9, which is moderate, multi-directional lugs here. You can see as you're even looking at the base of the shoe, some of them go towards the front, some of them go towards the back. And that's really great for rocky, fast trails where you're gonna be pushing a lot of miles over a short period of time. Next, we're gonna talk about the LD4 here. Again, low profile, fast draining lugs, great for wet conditions. And the Speedcross, again, really deep 5mm lugs. So when you're gonna be slogging through some mud, that's the shoe for you. And then the X Ultra 5, heavier lugs with solid heel braking. So when you're doing some backpacking going downhill, you know, when you're going down those switchbacks and you know, you feel that shoe potentially sliding forward, if that's something you deal with, you might wanna check out the X Ultra 5 because that heel just really locks into the back of the shoe and digs in when you're going down for some long distance backpacking. So what's the move here? Which one of these shoes is for you? You know, if you want a shoe that's light and fast, really good at draining, go for the LD4. If you need wide toe freedom, really stick with anything in that Ultra line. The Lone Peak here is probably Ultra's most popular shoe that they've ever made. And they have made some sick upgrades in this 9. And again, the Experience Wild 2 is more of that intro to Ultra shoe. A nice shoe that's good at everything from the trail to the city. Not gonna be as pricey, it's not as technical, a little bit more comfortable out of the drop with that 4mm drop versus the 0 drop you're used to from Ultra. So definitely a shoe worth checking out. If you're looking for that hybrid hiker trail runner, you know, check out something like the X Ultra 5. If you need more support underfoot, if you want a stiffer shoe, that could be a way to go. And if you're running those ultra marathons, the tough mudders, and you need something super sticky with deep lugs that can sink in and really catch the terrain underfoot, check out that Speedcross 6. This was a pretty base level overview of my 5 favorite shoes from 2025. We do have an individual video with each one of these shoes on our YouTube, and we'll link those in the first comment down below. We'll pin that right in that comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. We really hope that you have fun in these shoes. Drop a comment down below about which one you like and why, and we'll see you out there on the trails. Later.